How's it going there, everybody? This is our crazy video group having a bit of crack. We're all from Derry here. I'm Georgie from the water side of Derry. This is Leanne over here at the end. She's also from the water side. Tina's from the Brandywell, takes a lot of part in this video. And David, he also takes a lot of part. He's from the Glen, from Derry as well. We've got Rory in the Bishop Street area. We've got two New Yorkers here, Siva and Isa. We made this video about the Derry, the Troubles, Northern Ireland and what's going on. We made it for you, so we hope you enjoy it. Okay?
The higher you build your barriers, the taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong.
Right.
Ban petrol for 3 days.
No.
Ban the sale of petrol in Derry for 3 days. From the 10th to the
You could
13th.
compromise, couldn't you?
Okay,
Have
compromise.
the peace rallies, try and get the unions and the nationalists together and compromise on it. Spell compromise.
Came together, a group of Catholic and Protestant youth from Derry, as well as two young people from New York, to make a video that asked the question, can Catholics and Protestants ever find a way to live together in peace here in Northern Ireland? So you can understand why our communities are so divided, here's a bit of history. England occupied the whole of Ireland from the Middle Ages until 1921, when all but 6 counties gained their independence. These 6 counties are called Northern Ireland or Ulster. The two main communities are the Catholics and the Protestants.
Hey, Mister, would you like to get interviewed about the riots and what's going on?
I am from Derry and I live in the Brandywell area, but it's a Catholic area, but it has a wild bad reputation. It would be known as the Bronx, and people would say that it would be all hoods and all ones that would start riots that live in the Brandywell.
Cuckoo, baby.
Smile at the...
Siva.
Hey.
David, what do you think of the problems today?
Huh? Tina!
Are you a Protestant or a Catholic?
I'm in between them, a Protestant and Catholic.
If you walked under the fountain, that's a Protestant area, and says that you were Protestant and Catholic, what way do you think they would react?
Don't think they would be too pleased about it, even though I was part Protestant as well. With being part Catholic, they wouldn't take it too kindly.
Do you think if you walked under the bog side, that's the Catholic area, and says that you were Protestant and Catholic, what way do you think they would react?
They wouldn't react too good to me.
Oh well, like I'm not saying like we never spoke to Catholics at all, like because like a couple of years ago I used to go to one, I was going with for ages, but that's not anymore, like, because I was told cut that out. You have to cut it out.
What way do you think the Catholics would be treated here?
The Catholics be treated here like the blacks in America, second-class citizens.
I don't have like a lot of white friends. You know, it's mostly by choice and by economic status. It's practically like an all-black school, basically because of the neighborhood and because not a lot of white people would come all the way from their nice neighborhoods or whatever and come to my neighborhood.
Why did you choose to be Protestant?
I choose to be Protestant because Protestants seem to get treated better than Catholics, and I don't want to be treated that way.
Why do you think a Protestant get treated better than Catholics?
Because Protestants
Protestants say that Northern Ireland is...
Would it be because the Protestants have a bigger say? Because the British has come to take over Northern Ireland and most of the British is Protestant?
A working class Catholic and a working class Protestant like I am, there is no difference whatsoever in our makeup and our problems. And that is the real difference. It's the working class and the wealthy better off. That's the differences, if only people would see it. It's not orange and green, it's rich and poor.
Tell me what else. Okay, compromise is like sharing with each other.
No. People agree with that.
Like if there's a conflict between two people, they like come together with some kind of decision that probably helps them both in some way.
To compromise means that you've got to give up something to gain something. But the other party, the other person who's in conflict with you has to do the same.
What made you go into cross-community work?
I think one of the things that happened for me was that I was brought up in a nationalist community. But I worked for a long time in the Protestant community as a barber, because I'm a barber by trade. I looked at, and because I was a barber and from the nationalist community and working in the waterside area, I met a lot of Protestant people. And I began to see that there was another story happening in this world that I hadn't heard before.
When we started off 3.5 years ago, we went away on a trip. We saw the Protestants at one side, the Catholics at the other side. But now, when we go away on a trip, everybody's mixing with each other and people have made friends with it. So it's benefiting in the long run from what I can see.
Hopefully we'll encourage more Catholics to come in their community. They'll feel safe, but at the minute they don't feel safe being in our community and we don't feel safe having them in our community. And I'm sorry to say, but that was just a fact of life.
Why do I have to define myself by something that is of no interest to me? We are only one community and we have to recognise that we have complex and contradictory differences in this community that are not unique. They're rooted in the history of this place.
The civil rights movement was born here in the late 1960s, inspired by the movement for freedom and justice of black people in the United States. People in Derry organised peaceful demonstrations for housing, employment and political equality, but the government responded with military force. On January 20th, 1971, 14 unarmed civilians participating in a demonstration were killed by British troops in what came to be known as Bloody Sunday. During this period, known as the Troubles, many people were killed and several were imprisoned. A civil war between Catholic and Protestant paramilitary organisations pulled our communities further apart.
Do you think is the Troubles over here now in Derry the same as what they were when you were younger?
The Troubles now are at the end of 25 years, where the Troubles were at the beginning. I mean, when we were young, there was peace when I was growing up because we never complained. And then in the 60s, because the 60s was a generation for complaining. Everybody complained about everything. Look at that wee, see, look at that wee woman there.
That's she.
What we want a country with full employment. What we want a country with decent houses. And nobody can give it to us. Nobody can give the working class their political, their social, their economic freedom. But the working class themselves. And we've waited long enough. Now we'll take it for ourselves. Thank you.
Right from the start, this here's a rebel song. It's from the heart. Wanna tell you about a wrong committed by Britain back in the days. 14 murdered, they refused to be slaves to the crown. In Derry town, they wouldn't bow down, so they were shot down. A peaceful protest, the turnout was large. Soldiers decided to show who was in charge. Vexed, so they flexed, did what Paris can do best. Smoke get cleared, 14 will lay to rest. The riots, the looting, to start off the shooting. People emulated King, not Seal or Newton. Things forever changed after that afternoon. Brothers started doing what they had to do on Bloody Sunday.
After many years of power struggles and violence, in 1984, the groups involved declared a ceasefire. Even though it has not been entirely successful, we are not in a civil war and there is talk of peace. There's more to life than politics. We also like to have a good time. Here I am singing at a local club.
When your day is long and the night is yours alone, when you're sure you've had enough of this night, hey, don't let yourself go, 'cause everybody cries and everybody hurts sometimes.
There'll never be peace.
Close the door, we're filming, Rory. Just take a seat.
You think there'll never be peace? Why?
This is Rory. Rory went to walk and he got all rain. So he's going to come down and join the group.
Come on, Rory.
And he's all wet.
You think they'll never be peace?
I honestly don't think there'll ever be peace. Because it's the likes, because through the year, there's not, like through this past year now, since last summer, since September last year, nothing went on. But when it comes to the summer and the merchant season, it just all starts back again. And I just don't, there is not going to be peace there. That's my point of view. These guys you see are called Orange Men. The Orange Order is a Protestant organisation that has a lot of power. The parades, which have political and cultural meaning, are controversial, especially when they want to march in Catholic areas. On Sunday, July 7th, the government banned the Orange Order from marching through a Catholic area called Girvahi Road. Orange Men were enraged and began the standoff called the Siege of Drumcree. Protestants all over Northern Ireland showed their anger.
It's the escalation of unrest throughout Northern Ireland, including these scenes in Belfast, which seems to have prompted this fresh deployment of British forces. There'll now be more troops in Ulster than there were before the IRA ceasefire.
Rioters have thrown petrol bombs at police officers who've been firing back with plastic bullets. Cars have been burnt out and a number of houses have been torched.
How do you feel about the march?
My feeling is it's basically just a celebration. Every year the Protestants have a celebration.
I'm quite against marches in general, especially in this part of the world. They tend to sort of heighten opinions badly, and they're a cause of a lot of dissent and bad feeling around here. And if I had my way, marches would be banned totally.
They've been marching Girvahi Road for nearly 112 years, and now the past 2 years, Girvahi Road, oh, we don't want you to march. What about the years before that?
Don't care. I think it's wrong because, like, Catholics don't march in the Protestant areas looking for trouble, and they're just trying to stir it up.
And basically they're opposed to it because it's part of the Protestant culture, because it's part of our British identity, whereas Republicans and Nationalists would deem themselves to have an Irish identity. Therefore we're seeing it as an intolerance of our British identity that is not acceptable to the large number of nationalists who make the majority in this city.
I object, because to me it's the leftovers of racism. To me it would be like the Ku Klux Klan walking through the black neighbourhoods on a fancy dress parade, and people expecting the black community to say, oh, well, sure, it's only a fancy dress parade. They're only carrying them burning crosses for the crack.
After 5 days of the standoff, the government reversed its decision and the march was forced through Girvahi Road. Thousands of nationalists responded with peaceful protests. Others showed their rage by 3 nights of rioting, the worst Derry has seen in decades.
Were you out in the riots?
Aye.
What were you doing?
Just watching.
Did you feel anger? Did you see the anger that the people were going through?
On Friday night, because Dermot McShane was killed, and Saturday night.
How was he killed?
Because it was up back close to the jeeps that the cops just drove through and crushed him underneath the jeep.
What's this? What happened here?
That's where they hijacked the vans. They they block a road, so I burnt van, so the cops couldn't get through.
Was the RUC allowing the people to get into the hospitals?
No, the cops were over outside the hospital, and then on Thursday night or Friday night, I'm not sure, they broke into they went down to the hospital and let the dogs loose and started battering the relatives of people inside the casualty area.
Can you tell us what this is?
Ooh. That's a plastic bullet. That's what the cops were shooting at people, but they're warm and they hit you. And they could kill you if they hit you in the head or somewhere like that.
I'm 19 now, and I've grew up, and all I've ever known is to be baller, bombings and shootings, and I've just started to get really fed up with it.
Can I ask your name first of all?
Jackie Moan.
And this was your bar?
Yeah. The Thursday, Friday and Saturday was very, it was very rough here. There was a lot of burning and petrol bombing, you know.
The police had a barricade on here, didn't they? They put a barricade up, and whatever must the police had the bar.
Then they'd moved further back, and they had a burned van, which they were pushing towards the police, and went out of control, came up against the wall there, and the flames caught the roof. But I intend to rebuild again as soon as possible, and I should be back in before Christmas.
Deirdre, were you down at the riots?
No, I wasn't.
Were you not down at any of them?
No, I was at all the peace marches, but at none of the riots.
Do you think will there be any more bother tonight to be rioting and things?
I don't know, it seems to have calmed down. Hopefully this will be the end of the violence now in Derry, because we just want peace and quiet and try and get on. The man died, we know that, and we're all hurt. We don't want another man dead because of the RUC.
Right, Deirdre, thanks.
I expect that this is going to make cross-community work more difficult. I expect it's going to be very, very, very difficult to get groups to settle down and sit and talk about some of the hard issues, particularly in the present climate, because emotions are very, very high.
Protestants and Catholics have retreated back into their trenches. They have become fearful for the future. Their hopes, their fears, their aspirations have been set back light years, and that is not the way to move forward. And I think what happened in those situations done considerable damage in the international arena to the Protestant community, to the Orange Institution in particular, and to our faith.
The Prentice Boys March celebrates the Battle of the Boyne when in 1690 Derry's walls were closed to prevent a Catholic king from gaining the English crown from a Protestant king. This year, the Prentice Boys wanted to march around all the Derry walls, but the Catholic community didn't want them on the west wall, which overlooks the Bogside.
The marches last year were a disgrace because there's about 18 people got arrested for protesting, and it was in the Journal, the Derry newspaper, that people were getting dragged off the walls and the policemen were standing on them and kicking them and things like that.
The three of you are going to present this to us, right? So try and sell us your plan. Are we a Catholic group or a Protestant group?
We're Protestants.
We're Protestants. Let's go for it.
Like, the first thing we came up with was they sort of slightly changed the route.
David, would you agree with that? No. Why not?
Because it means that we have to march back down into the town. We can't march around the walls like we want to do, because the walls is of the city, and we want to march around the walls, not just on the one side.
Obviously, there's people going to be protesting like Catholics. It's the people protesting for their own area that's going to get hurt.
But the thing is, we don't go out, when you have your marches on Bloody Sunday or whatever, we don't go down and sit in the middle of the road and protest.
Do you know how many were killed?
13.
14.
Well, 14 then. Why should you have to come to our marches? We're celebrating, we're celebrating, we're remembering history as well as you are.
What history are you remembering?
The Battle of the Boyne, the closing of the gates. Yous are remembering the people that died.
When the Protestants won the Battle of the Boyne, was King Bully praised?
I don't know, I wasn't alive away back then.
I feel that I have as much right to walk the walls as anybody else. You can have anybody walking these walls 52 weeks of the year from any part of the world. Doesn't matter what their nationality is, doesn't matter what their religion is, they can walk those walls. Yet no 250 Protestants that were born in this city are not allowed to walk the walls 15 minutes in the 12th morning. And that's what I object.
That's the other wee bit about marching around the walls that they don't tell you, is that when they marched around the walls in '69, they started that whole crack. You know, that the row in Derry and the Battle of the Bogside started with the Apprentice Boys March in '69. And then the riot went on for 3 days and the army was brought in. And they never really got to march those walls again until the ceasefire. When they talk about their tradition, they didn't actually march on those walls for the whole duration of the war because the British Army had that stretch of the wall sealed off.
The Bogside Residents Group and the Apprentice Boys tried to compromise on the marches route, but when they weren't able to reach an agreement, the RUC closed off the west wall to the marchers, and despite fears of more violence, there were no major problems.
We were willing to accommodate almost all that the Apprentice Boys were demanding. We asked one simple thing from the Apprentice Boys, and that is that they recognise the principle of consent, and that they agree that where their parades cause offence, that they will enter into negotiations with local residents to resolve those issues, but that they accept that at the end of the day, that process of negotiation, we asked one simple thing from them, and that was that they recognise the principle of consent. They refused to recognise that, and therefore we weren't prepared to broker an agreement.
The problem hasn't gone away, there's still a problem there, but at least the door's open and contact has been made.
Do you think will there ever be peace in Ireland?
No, never. There'll never be peace here as long as RUC's here.
If the RUC move out and just let the Protestants and Catholics battle it out, do you think then would there be peace?
No, well, maybe in years to come, but maybe not in my life. But in maybe my children's or someone else's life. I'll never see peace while I'm in this earth.
Not everybody is prepared to lay down that pride for that peace. And when you consider that there was only 18 months of peace and 25 years of violence, they're more used to the violence.
It's your peer group that has to realise that we have to change. It's my daughter, she's 10 years old. Hopefully, when she's my age, she won't be having to do this interview.
Both Catholics and Protestants should just love for their children and let their children have a peaceful world. And that they should remember what it was like for them growing up and give their wains a better chance.
Would you like to grow up in Derry, with the rioting and all now, or else would you like it to be better and have peace and things like that there?
I have peace. Have peace. 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 Peace.
What did you learn from this morning, just as a learning, to take away from this morning's workshop?
Because as he says, anytime you find a solution, there's always another problem.
You don't always hear both sides of the argument, and I think everybody should get their say in.
I learned that this Northern Ireland issue is bigger than I thought it was.
This community has all kinds of divisions, and it's much more complex than two communities.
Well, Orange Order to me, it's a self-appointed voice of the Protestant community. I mean, they didn't speak for me, I'm a Protestant, and they did not speak for me. I mean, there's so many different identities in Northern Ireland. I mean, it's just totally ridiculous. So many different identities.
How do we create a society in which the human rights and the civil rights and the political and economic and cultural rights of all its citizens, be their culture British or Chinese or gay or straight or female or poor, are all of equal status?
That there are three ways for the future of Northern Ireland. Okay, and here's the three ways. One, that we are content with this conflict. And we will continue living in conflict because we do not have the will, each of us do not have the will to sort it out. The second way would be that we learn to coexist. And that is that we learn to live apart. We learn to separate. We learn to not have any communication with the other community, but we also learn to give ourselves equality of opportunity around jobs or whatever it may be. But we learn to live apart. And if we have our marches in our own areas and we don't have them in anywhere where they're going to put anybody in threat. So it is learning to coexist completely. And the third way is we have reconciliation. And if we all agree to come together and live in peace and harmony, which option would you take for the future?
What were you all expecting?
I was expecting a countryside and, you know, little farms and, you know, little houses and
You're
stuff.
serious?
I'm serious.
I swear he's talking about Donegal. What will you remember the most about you? I'd have to get up to see this one.
She can't get up.
Oh, I swear I'm stuck.
I remember the time of the riots.
You know, this is like back home, you know, everybody hanging out, everybody going out and everything. I'm serious.
I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been great for us. We learned a lot from each other. I hope you learned from it. And we've had great crack. And thanks for watching. Hope you did enjoy it. We were all going mad here and peace these all as we want it in Ireland.
What time is it? Time to wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up, Irishman. Wake up, wake up, wake up, Irishman. Wake up, wake up, wake up, Irishman. Sectarian hatred me no understand. First of all, we must integrate. Respect each other, decide our own fate. Marvin Gaye said only love can conquer hate. Send the soldier boy home, peace and never come late. You must wake up, wake up, wake up, Irishman. Wake up, wake up, wake up, Irishman. Wake up, wake up, wake up, Irishman. Sectarian hatred me no understand. Move, move, that's the man.